We got this chick, Melissa Picket. She can't hear us right now. She's an ecotherapist. We were turned on to her by watching Bullshit.
I saw it.
Oh, you saw? Oh,
I saw this episode. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You were in that day. I'm sorry.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
So we're gonna lead her on a little bit and say we're really into
Get into it, and we saw and really into.
And we're hoping for maybe a good Ramoning.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe a little bit of interrupting interviewer,
or maybe some serious phone calls from the listeners.
All right, but be smart, folks.
Game on. Let's say hi to Melissa Picket.
We'll get her on. You got her?
Yeah, we really want to talk to Melissa. Melissa, are you there?
I am. Here I am.
Hey, Melissa Pickett. Thanks for calling the Greg and Tony Show. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. We were turned on to you because we saw you on that bull. Well, we can't say the word dookie.
No.
The Bull S show that Penn and Teller do on Showtime. And we were fascinated by what you offer.
And we felt they kind of gave you a bum rap comment.
No, I don't feel that way.
Okay.
I actually did watch the show, in fact, just yesterday.
Yeah.
And found it humorous.
Yeah.
But the subject matter, the final place that they came to in the show was they couldn't dispute or affirm humans' impact on the planet.
Exactly. That's what I noticed too, and I think they were making light of the work that you're doing, which I think is fantastic. Helping people in such a way was a very noble thing. I think it's very important to have people get together and be one with nature like that.
Well, I first came to the work that I'm doing and the focus of this because I had people coming in to see me. And they were complaining of all different kinds of symptoms. And as I began working with them to try to help them figure it out, it became apparent that root issue was their concern for nature, the environment,
and
the world.
This was actually affecting them physically.
It can affect them in many different ways.
That's quite amazing. That just this, and is it a guilt thing?
Eco guilt, I think you call it.
Eco guilt, is that a?
Well, where I see that show up is in people not knowing what to do, and if they are driving their vehicle, if they're feeling like they're not doing enough, they do feel guilty when they throw away trash, plastics. They do comment about, I feel really guilty. I feel bad. I don't know what I can be doing, and it's really important not to go to a place of helplessness.
It seems like the carbon footprint people are leaving seems to be how would you say it? Detrimental.
Yes, that's a good word.
To everything. Right or wrong?
Certainly, the way that I look at it is, I can't exactly say what my impact to the planet is every day.
Well, you're helping. You're obviously helping. You're giving a hoot.
Yeah, well, I think that's what we all have to do in our own way, in whatever way that is. And the way that I look at it is, I have to be having some impact in the way I live. How can we have so many people on the planet?
I'm sorry.
No, you.
No, you go.
How about you? Because you were
no,
before.
Go ahead. I'll go. You want me to go? I'll ask.
All right.
Go ahead. No,
you go.
I like that you're excited about the.
Well,
very.
We're jumping over each other. So, Bob, why don't you?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go. Yeah. How you doing? This is Rich Voss. How are you?
This is Melissa Picket.
Hi, Melissa. How are you? I'm a big fan, first of all. Saw the show, and big fan. I just wanted to get into the rocks. I mean, you went into the parking lot. You picked up rocks out of Mother Earth.
I did.
I would say, right? And you handed them to these people. And what does that do? Like, can I just go to?
Have you ever tried it?
No, I mean, I live in Manhattan, so it'd be hard. I'd have to
dig
up the sidewalk.
You don't have rocks there.
No.
Think of it this way.
I'm living on one.
envision how you feel
Just
when you
living
go
on a
out into
big one.
nature. What is the effect of that?
Uh-huh.
You feel naturally slowed down.
Right.
You feel calm. You aren't around a lot of hustle and bustle, so you have clear space.
Yeah.
What do you
So
mean
it-
by hustle and bustle?
Well, a lot of static around you. It's a lot of people, a lot of airwaves, a lot of radio waves, day-to-day life, traffic, horns honking, sirens going. What's the effect of all that on the nervous system?
Do you
and then
pick-
how do you feel when
You
you
know
go
what
out
I've
into
noticed?
nature?
The
Yeah.
world's gone and gotten itself in a big damn hurry.
We are in a big hurry. That's part of the problem. We're going so fast, we're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Melissa,
So what does a rock in your pocket do?
The rock in the pocket is to help you remember that there is something that you are connected to that you've forgotten.
So you feel it kind of when you're living with the daily grind, as we like to say, the rock in the pocket centers you a little bit.
It centers you.
All right, well, I
it
wasn't finished, but you go
grounds
right ahead. You just go ahead. I didn't mean I wasn't finished, but go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Do you feel that it grounds you and will help refocus you, or is it something that's going to kind of distract you because your mind will be elsewhere?
My experience is...
All right, sorry about that. Go right ahead.
It's centering.
No, it's all about you. I didn't mean to actually talk
grounding.
on the radio show a part of. Go ahead. What were we saying?
Centering.
We'll finish this one. You were, it's centering in what way?
I feel better. That's
Really?
the best way to say it. I just feel better. Anytime, if you have... Why do people like to put flowers in their offices?
Yeah, we all know about that. But
Yeah.
let's get back to what you were doing with the rocks. Do you feel... Because a lot of people say that the rocks are a distraction. I've heard that argument made where,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
you say, they're centering. And I've heard other people say they're a distraction, and they remove your focus because they put your mind in a place where you're not focused on the task at hand. I've heard that.
Well,
But,
in
all
a way,
right, go
it's
ahead.
kind
I'm
of
sorry. Whatever you want to say, you go right ahead. Maybe we should just give you the mic.
Okay. It's kind of, in a way, just a,
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
really theoretical discussion because the proof is in the pudding. And if
Proof is in the
someone-
pudding.
What does George Harrison's head have to do with any of this?
Yeah, we don't understand that whole truth is in the pudding thing. What does that really mean if
It's
you
the
break
proof.
it down?
The proof is in the pudding. It's an old saying.
But what
Yes.
does that really mean, though? The truth is in the pudding.
The proof, yeah.
It's in the experience.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sure.
But you.
Someone- excuse me, if someone wants to have, if someone wants to find a way to have the best, most functional, fulfilling life, and they are concerned with their well-being and how they can make
I get what you're saying. We got to focus you. You're rambling in circles. Melissa Picket. Now, what is an MALPC? What exactly does that stand for?
Yeah.
licensed professional clinical counselor.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Now,
Okay.
what about the labyrinth? This sounds very mysterious, almost frightening.
Well, there's a lot of information on the internet about the labyrinth, and I think people can look that up for themselves.
I'd like to know about your labyrinth and what that means, because when I saw it, labyrinths, they scare me a little bit.
Well, try it out. See what you.
Are yours made out of hedges
No, they're
or in a
stones.
cornfield?
They're stones.
Do you remember that scene in The Shining? I mean, it was so scary.
Oh my
Where there
goodness!
was
Right?
there was the
a little.
They had choices.
You know, I want to go back. I know you said I was
Sure,
rambling,
go
but I
ahead. You
wanna
run the
go
interview.
Oh, no,
back to
No,
that.
go ahead.
You're
We'll just
right.
guess on
Go
your
back.
show.
Because I don't think the question is answered.
No, well,
And it's
go
an
ahead.
important
Whatever you think
point
there,
to make.
Ted Koppel. Take us wherever you want. We're just actors in your play.
The for people who are looking for a way to
Right.
have a healthy, happy life,
Sure, we're on this point again. Go ahead.
whatever way they can find to make connection with some deeper part of themselves is what I encourage.
Right.
Okay. Should we
the
go back
rock-
anymore?
the
What
rock-
else do we do
the
wrong?
rock
Apparently, we're
is
not
sym-
asking
the rock
questions to
is
your
symbolic
satisfaction.
of the
Go
way
right
to
ahead.
do
It's all
that.
about you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Welcome to the Melissa Picket Show. Go.
I think Melissa's making some fine
Valid
points
points
today,
here.
yes.
This is because
Yes, this is-
I've
think
noticed,
she's-
Melissa. I've noticed I feel terrible when I use certain things that I know are going to be in a landfill for a long time. These things affect me. What can I do to make myself feel better about this?
Pay attention to how you live and do the little things.
Melissa, I'm feeling eco-guilt.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is Ted, Melissa. He's please bear with us. He's a bit slow.
I try to be environmentally conscious, and yet I find myself leaving a bigger carbon footprint than I intended on leaving.
We feel like all voices should be heard on our show. So Ted's a bit slow, but his point is just as important. So please listen to Ted.
Melissa! What can I do to help lighten my carbon footprint? That will be your turn to answer the question. Because I tend to do things like when flowers are blooming, I'll pour gasoline on them.
Well, that's not very eco-friendly.
No, that's not.
Melissa!
Ted. Melissa?
Yeah?
You're not answering my questions. I need help.
What could you tell Ted today?
Ted's a little,
Melissa?
I'd say Ted's a little stressed out.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, let's go to our phone calls. They've been wanting to talk to you all morning here. Let's start with Bob in Connecticut. Bob, you're on with Melissa Picket. She's a ecotherapist.
Hi, good morning. Greg and Tony, love the show. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
Miss Pickett, Mrs. Pickett, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm not familiar with your work. I'm not sure if you're married or not. But I have this tremendous eco-guilt anytime I use the bathroom, to the point that I forced myself to contain my bowel movements for the last 2 weeks. And it's becoming extremely uncomfortable. And all I can do all day is daydream about taking a giant steaming shit. Booyah!
Wow.
Booyah.
Melissa?
We're gonna have to beep that.
Yeah, they beeped it down the hall. But he makes a very good point because when you're doing that, how do we explain it on the radio? When you wake up in the morning and you do that, isn't that wrecking the environment in a way?
The concern that people might have with that is the use of water. For example, we live in a drought area here, and we had people who were very concerned, literally, with their toilet flushes. They were concerned about conservation of the water and not having any. And, that became a concern for people in New Orleans.
Oh, of course.
That became a concern for people in Atlanta.
But they had plenty of water in New Orleans.
It's not drinkable.
Oh.
So,
I got confused because you were talking about a drought.
Water is the nectar of life. We don't have water, we can't exist.
Oh, I like that. Nectar of life.
Wait a minute. If you don't have water, you can't exist.
No.
No, not at all. Wow. Are you suggesting we raise a generation of super kids?
I'm suggesting we raise a generation of conscious kids.
Sure.
And should we give kids rocks? Like, should you give your kids rocks, or would that be for like adults, or is that a certain age, or can that help kids too?
I suggest we take kids out into our parks.
Yeah.
Kids camping. We give them experiences with nature. We get them off the TVs and the computers.
Where did Jimmy go? Melissa, we got a soldier that came back from Iraq, and I've been following the Green Movement, and this has come up a few times. Rich in Colorado, what do you have for Melissa Picket, the ecotherapist?
Hi, Melissa. I'm a huge fan of yours. I saw your show. I saw you on Penn and Teller, and I saw your little labyrinth, the rock garden, and it reminded me of when I was in Baghdad for 15 months, and I was walking around in circles there, kind of doing useless stuff. But the question I have is, I was driving, those big, huge Humvees around, which put out the carbon footprint stuff, and I was wondering, how much of a carbon footprint do IEDs leave?
I have no idea. I'm not an environmentalist, so you'd have to go on the website, figure that out for yourself.
But you would imagine, Melissa, there would be a lot of
IEDs. There's a lot of smoke and stuff, and a lot of parts from trucks flying around. I was just wondering, what would you guess, ballpark figure? What are we talking?
I have no idea because I'm not an expert in that area.
All right, but the point being, Melissa, that I'm sure that would bring on a lot of guilt if you're one of these soldiers that is fighting the good fight over in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah, probably would.
I would hope that we would all just send a, a message to the people that we care about, that we care about them, and that we care about their well-being.
Yeah.
And that we care about them. 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 And good words and a blessing of support
Sure.
for being over there. And let's support them how we can.
We're running out of time because we got to take a break for the NPR news. But first, we got Steve from where is he from?
Something yellow. I'm not. I can't read the list.
Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Steve.
Hello.
Yes, you're on with Melissa Picket, Steve.
I have a bad connection. May I speak with Miss Picket?
You're on the line with Miss Picket.
Oh, hello, Melissa.
Hello, I'm here.
I think that a lot of people don't seem to take the environment seriously, and I don't think that they understand that their impact, like, people don't feel as individuals, because I personally had my stomach stapled, and yet I didn't change the problems inside that made me do that to begin with. And I find that what's really been happening is people don't seem to understand the impact we have on the earth, that one person can make a difference.
I hope that
I
we
have
are
throat
all
polyps, so this
waking
one's
up
gonna
to
probably
begin to
hurt.
understand that.
What's that? I'm sorry.
I said I hope that you're doing your part to help people understand that.
Well, I find that it might sound crazy, but I'm not drinking really bottled water anymore. I'm drinking tap water because I don't want to continually use all the bottles and the plastic, which I don't believe are recycled properly.
That's probably true.
Can you elaborate on what else I could do? Because I'm feeling like I just don't know, but I really do want to contribute and participate accurately. And I'm really worried about this one, though, because, again, it always hurts my throat, and yet it plays funny on the air. So what do you think I could be doing differently?
Add to what you're doing.
Ramon! Someone leave a carbon ball print on this bitch's nose bridge. Ramon! Melissa carries rocks under her clit hood. Ramon! Melissa should be chased through a labyrinth by a bleeding AIDS patient.
I really hope that people that are listening.
Justice for pedophiles.
I hope that people that are listening will allow, in whatever way that they can, to know that they can make a difference.
Ramon! Melissa Picket eats dirty asshole.
Are you finished?
Yes, that's all I wanted to say. But I really do want to know what you think I might be doing better to help the environment.
Oh, my goodness. You know, it never fails. The caller gets through, and
She didn't answer my question.
we couldn't cut it off quickly enough. I'm so sorry, Melissa, that sometimes
You know,
these callers
there
get through and they just want to make jokes.
No need to apologize. Let's allow that anyone listening to this show, in their heart of hearts, make their own decision about what's happening out there, how it's affecting them, and let them know that
goddamn rich cunt.
We're all human and we're all sharing in the world together.
Goddamn rich cunt.
Yeah, I hear you. It makes good sense.
It sure does, Melissa.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah.
You're right? Okay. Wasn't sure if you were
Any other questions
still
or
there.
any other callers?
Yeah, we have plenty of calls coming in.
Yeah.
Why don't we? This is a very good question coming in from Steve in Union, New Jersey. Steve.
Hi, Melissa. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I realize my ideas might not be 100% orthodox, but I was really wondering what you thought about marijuana. See, I believe that comes from nature, and it's very difficult for me to be centered when I'm not really baked.
So what's your question?
Comment?
My question is how you think that helps the eco footprint? Because, I mean, I'm planting a lot of trees here in New Jersey, and, it's helping people get centered in their lives. I was just wondering what you think about that.
She said she's not an expert on that.
Are you feeling a bit of guilt because you're smoking the weed, Steve?
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Melissa, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Of course, we're concentrating here on the United States, but there seems to be a lot of I don't know. It's almost eco crimes going on in other countries. You understand what I mean? So it's kind of hard for us to do something knowing that other countries are just screwing up by the numbers here. You know?
Well, I don't think it's just a United States problem. It's a world problem.
It is a world problem. And we got, to the south, we have Mexico just pumping out pollutants. And to the north, we got just moronic, stupid-ass Canadians that just don't know anything about anything, to tell you the truth.
And that brings a lot of stress and guilt.
Yes, a lot of guilt.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like our retarded neighbors to the north that have to be cared for and coddled as they ruin the planet.
Sure. We got Uncle Paul checking in. Uncle Paul, you're on with Melissa Picket, the ecotherapist.
Hello, this is Paul.
Hello.
Oh.
How are you? I teach children, and what is it? It seems it's very hard to get an eco-responsible message through to younger people because it all starts at home with the interfering parents.
That's true.
And what is the best way, do you think, to try to get that message to children? Because I deal with the very young kids, and it's very hard because they don't understand consequences or what tattling can do to somebody. So exactly what is it? How do you make that fun for children?
Meet children where they are.
I'm not sure what you mean, although that sounds...
Playing outside, letting them draw, talking about what they like in nature, letting them go...
Ramon! Melissa should pick up rocks from her driveway with her cunt lips. Ramon! Somebody fuck this four-eyed bitch in the back of an SUV with the air conditioning going full blast. Ramon! This four-eyed nerd should be sodomized with a giant sunflower.
I want to go back to the comment.
Oh, my
Melissa should carry bottled water in her pussy.
Who is letting this caller get through?
I don't know
this
how.
This is outrageous.
Our screener really needs
I want to go back to the comment about the Canadians.
Yeah, because it really seems very hard to get that message across because they keep telling you, tell them this is going to get me in a lot of trouble. You got to keep your mouth closed, but they tell. They always tell.
Part of the problem is we want to blame other people.
When do you responsible for bad weather?
For ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I've enjoyed our time together today.
Ramon!
And
Melissa Picket has thin, unkissable lips.
I have to go out in the world now and
Ramon! Melissa has a hairdo like Blair's cousin Jerry from The Facts of Life.
And so I'm going to wish you well.
All right.
Somebody tell this dinosaur neck bitch to shut up already.
To have a wonderful day.
I understand.
And
Yes.
do your part.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Recycling is for faggots.
Thank you
Help
so
the world
much.
be a better place.
I agree.
God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Melissa Picket.
Bye-bye.
There
I
goes
think that was a real cop-out.
Melissa Picket.
This has got to be the funniest.
Oh, my God.
I don't think there's anything funnier.
When he just
I don't think
blurts
there's
out
anything funnier
that
on the
fucking
fucking
Ramon.
planet Earth. I don't think there's anything fucking funnier.
What the fuck, Jimmy?